Dun, 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 dun. Lightning strikes twice. Let's get into it, MFers.
Yeah, we've got two topics, one apiece. Neither of us knows what we're going to bring up, and we got 5 minutes to discuss. That's the way of
Enough yammering.
yeah. Let's see. I think I go first, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think of the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi?
Hmm. A little spicy for me.
No, not wasabi. So,
Oh.
wabi-sabi is basically the idea that imperfection is beauty.
Mhm.
And I personally believe that the only way like true beauty comes from a measure of imperfection. That something that's too perfect isn't beautiful. It's almost fake in a way.
It probably is fake.
Yeah.
Perfection is not normal. Perfection is not like a natural
Mm-hmm.
state of things.
Yeah,
That's
but all the flaws make something have character.
yeah. And,
That
and the thing is, like, there is no such thing as perfection. So any of this perceived perfection is a facade.
yeah. Well, I guess you could say when you're talking, say, structures, right? Like a building having geometric imperfection. Okay, it's not exactly symmetrical or something. And when you're talking humans, you could say, oh, they're not perfectly symmetrical or have everything completely clean and straight. Like, oh, maybe this person has like a scar on their face or something, or whatever. That those are the things that make somebody or a thing beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
imagine if all mountains were just cones. There's like no crags and you know things like boulders and rocks and stuff like that. That they wouldn't be beautiful in that case.
Sounds like a beautiful mountain range if you're a conehead.
Yeah, I guess so.
Beauty is in the eye of the cone holder.
Well, I mean, the phrase "beauty is in the eye of the beholder" is really true. It's like I don't know what there can't really be a universally agreed upon definition of beauty. It's
No.
personal. Like something that I find beautiful, you might find disgusting. Um, and so that that's how things go.
Like that episode of Red Dwarf with the the blob.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because she turned into the blob. Obviously, she had the deception of tricking people into seeing her as their ideal uh, counter person or whatever. But then when she showed her true self, Crichton was like, oh, well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Because he was more concerned with her personality than with her physical appearance. And I don't know that everybody could necessarily do that. I guess you could certainly be friends with somebody. Obviously, there's personal variations in what makes somebody physically attractive to yourself. Everybody has their thing, or multiple things, and it's different. So this idea that everybody, oh, this is the universal, this is, oh, that person is beautiful to everybody, like maybe not. I actually, me, I'm kind of more attracted to people that are a little rough around the edges, like not like completely blob like, I guess, but
Did you
like
used to work for Hallmark?
yeah.
My darling, I think you're rough around the edges.
Yeah. Well, obviously you wouldn't want to say that to somebody, but I mean, having I to me, I that's what I appreciate is the character of somebody that their body tells a story of their life experience or something, or they have features that distinguish them from other people. Like, not if everybody was like Barbie and Ken, it would be a really boring world. And then at that point, well, then what is beauty? Like if everybody's beautiful and perfect, then there's no such thing left anymore. And at that point, the people that have distinguishing characteristics would become the ones that are sought after and things.
Yeah. Well, and to some degree, like attraction has a lot to do with familiarity too.
Mm-hmm. True.
Uh, like the longer you spend with
Oh, that's time. I think your point is
the classic story, droid meets droid, droid becomes chameleon.
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. We always find a way to put Star Trek or Red Dwarf into every episode somewhere. All right, so on to your topic. Take it
Okay,
away.
my topic is in a world with no uh, formal infrastructure for justice or safety or anything like that, like or law, let's say. What do you think would create the most order in society, the bounty hunter style or the police officer style?
Ooh. I mean, oh, I don't know. To me, I think in a effectively lawless society, what would create the most order is sex and trade. That you're not inclined to bite the hand that feeds you, essentially.
Yeah, we need to make our own version of westerns where,
Mhm.
where
Yeah,
they, instead of all
yeah.
this like wanted dead or alive stuff, there's like
Mhm.
come
I,
down to Madam KSMs and
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, those things do bring people together, and it it's brought cultures together through the millennia,
Mhm.
four millennia.
But in a comparison sort of analysis, let's say, like, do you think the bounty hunter style of enforcement is better or worse than this police organized, kind of organized networks of crime fighting or whatever?
Well, I think there'd be room for both, but I think policing in general um, would be more akin to like security guards. So your neighborhood might hire a security company to patrol and just kind of keep order, and
Hmm.
it would probably be far better than what we have now because the scope of their tasks would be much more limited. Like, hey, just keep people from hurting other people and breaking into their houses and kidnapping them or something, and that's about it. They're not looking for drugs or whatever. They don't have any incentive, like because, and of course, there wouldn't be any civil asset forfeiture or anything like that. They'd basically just be security people
Hmm.
driving around, walking around. I mean, it just depends. Like you could have any variety of that. I suppose I could see the case for there being bounty hunters too. Say somebody murdered somebody and ran away, right? Well, we got to catch that person, or they kidnapped somebody. We got to find the kidnapped person.
So, I
Um,
mean, on one hand, the idea of having justice be a detached and completely separate entity from the government. Um, there's also the matter of like, how do you know, like, if the local justice administration is going to be all that just? Um,
well, that's a question you have to ask even now too.
you
So,
remove regulation, you definitely have, let's say, like guaranteed variations in the gradients of uh, very subjective things like what right and wrong are.
you would, but like I said, we kind of have that already. I think the best deference would be AI. We
Yeah.
would in this situation without an official court system. I think it would be more of like a contractual thing. Like AI would be the arbiter of our dispute, and we would agree like, hey, both of us choose this AI because we know it's fair. You could also have a company too that's like a court company that everybody is like, okay, well, we have this dispute or there's this situation. We'll agree to this one because it has a high rating of fairness. Maybe
The
some combination of both, even.
one problem I thought of just now about AI justice is the bias factor. And not that it comes in biased, but it can actually over time be biased by its own prior decisions. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's how law works now too.
Well, true. Yeah, humans are subject to the same
Yeah,
effects.
yeah, the whole idea of precedence, or like, a judge 200 years ago said, no way, so I kind of have to listen to his dead ass, like,
Well, it should always be reevaluated. That's the thing that
right.
pisses me off about being a juror. Like, you're told, oh, just only evaluate whether they broke the law or not. Don't evaluate whether the law is right. Like, no, that's the whole point of having a jury, is that when things change, people can kind of update stuff, or culture shifts a little bit, and we can say, hey, well, you know what, we're not going to prosecute people based on those old ways of thinking anymore. And yeah, but the bias, I think it's ever present, no matter what system you choose, whether it be a government system or an AI system or a company. Like, there's always going to be that. Oh, well, that's
Oh
time. That's a good one. That could probably be its own episode, I think.
yeah,
Definitely, definitely a fun one. I feel like those minutes were really short.
they were.
Time
Yeah.
went by way too fast there. Uh,
Catch us next week for another Lightning Strikes Twice.
yes, come back again to be electrified.
Shockingly good.